Happy 4th of July, everyone. It is, like I said, it is Thursday evening. Hopefully, everyone had a good 4th of July out there. I know it was hot, really hot across the area with some dew points that were approaching 80 degrees in a few spots, I know. And heat indexes were way above 110 over the last few days over a good part of the South. So, if you're just now joining us, click that thumbs up button. Comment where you're from. Share this with your friends and family. We're going to have a possible landfall on the Yucatan. Well, Hurricane Beryl is going to be landfalling tonight into tomorrow morning across the Yucatan Peninsula and then reemerge into the Gulf of Mexico, where I think it's going to continue to defy all odds and become a major hurricane yet again. It is re-strengthened now to a major hurricane again. So it was down to 110 miles per hour, and now it's back up to a Cat 3. So this is defying any model that's out there. So basically, we're going to go with trends and kind of a gut feeling. I've been talking to you guys about my gut feelings the last few days, especially like 3 or 4 days ago. I had a feeling that this was going to, like I said, ramp up to a Cat 5, which it did, and it maintained intensity for a long period of time up into Jamaica. Kind of wind shear really ate it yesterday evening, and then it re-strengthened today. So I think Texas Gulf Coast really needs to stay up on the weather this weekend, and the National Hurricane Center is probably going to start issuing watches, I would assume, probably by tomorrow night. So we're going to have to stay up on the forecast for sure. So, all right, let's get into tomorrow's weather really quick, and then we're going to get into the tropics. All right, I do want to apologize. I was out with, doing the 4th of July thing and just got home a little bit ago. So I do apologize. I've been trying to do about 9:30 to 10 every night. I'll start that back again tomorrow. But here is tomorrow's highs for Friday, July 5th. Back to work for some of us. Hopefully, some of y'all got a long weekend out of this. But Starting out in Denver, 83 degrees, 78 Amarillo. Big cool down across parts of Texas here. 82 Lubbock, 87 Oklahoma City, 83 Springfield, 90 for Little Rock. Lots of storm chances around. 95 for Monroe. Good chance of storms. 100 for San Antonio. 96 Houston. Go over towards Atlanta. Birmingham. Good chance of storms. 92, 95 tomorrow at Birmingham. 90 Nashville. 99 in Raleigh, North Carolina. And in Washington, 98 for tomorrow. All right, let's take a look at the latest from Hurricane Beryl here. It has re-strengthened to a Category 3 hurricane, which is a major hurricane. Let me get some of this overlays off so you guys can see. All right. All right, latest from Hurricane Beryl here. As of the 10 p.m. advisory from the National Hurricane Center, maximum sustained winds at 115 miles per hour. It's now moving west at 16. It was a west-northwest. Now it's moving more west. As of right now, it's 16 miles per hour. But this is going to hit the Yucatan Peninsula, have some effects on Cancun even. This is probably going to come on shore, landfall at a major hurricane here. How long does it stay over the Yucatan? Looks like it's only going to stay over maybe 12 to 14 hours. Will it weaken it enough to a tropical storm? I'm having my doubts, even though the National Hurricane Center is saying it's going to be weakened to a tropical storm. But as soon as that thing comes back out, if it doesn't weaken to a tropical storm, all bets are off. I think there's going to be a major hurricane that is possible coming up into possibly South Texas. And this is the cone of uncertainty up here in parts of Texas. Will this take a more northerly jog? And that's what the National Hurricane Center still has most of the southeastern Texas Gulf Coast here in the cone of uncertainty, which, let me remind you, the cone contains the probable path of the storm center and does not show the size of the storm. Hazardous conditions can occur outside of the cone. I've been trying to talk to you guys about this. Don't get so wrapped up on the actual track. This is the track of the center of the storm, basically the eye of the hurricane, the eye of the storm here. If this takes a little bit more northerly track, which it has been doing over the last couple of days, this could easily come into the Gulf Coast of Texas here and have some tropical storm effects even over towards Louisiana. So we have to stay on top of the weather over the weekend because this is going to be coming into parts of Texas, anywhere from South Texas to maybe even ports of Southeast Texas up towards Southwest Louisiana, have some effects up that way. We're going to get water piled up into the Gulf of Mexico, especially on the right side of this storm. So you're going to get water piled up, and you're going to have water rises even into Louisiana. And they're probably going to issue a storm surge forecast probably the next day or two. But there's going to be water rises and high surf, big swells coming off this thing. As soon as this thing starts picking up strength again, it's forecast to become a hurricane again by 7 a.m. Sunday. Like I said, I do have my doubts as it has re-strengthened into a major hurricane as of the 10 p.m. advisory. It's going to probably make landfall as a major hurricane in the Yucatan Peninsula here and basically stay on land for about 12 hours. Biggest question to me is, does it actually get down to a tropical storm status? I really have my doubts that it does. Does get to a tropical storm status. I think it may stay a weak hurricane, but we'll see. As soon as it, like I said, as soon as it gets in the Gulf of Mexico, all bets are off. I think this thing is going to re-strengthen probably pretty quickly. Just the way Beryl has been acting over the past few days. Okay, so because no model has been picking up on its strength at all. The WRF model has been doing a better job at the intensity, but the rest of the models have been absolutely garbage on this. And here we are, major hurricanes coming into the Yucatan Peninsula as of tonight. All right, let's take a look at the satellite picture here. I want to show you a few things here. So you can see there's Jamaica over here, basically ravaged that country as well. You can see earlier today, it started re-strengthening. You see the eye starting to pop out here And now, like I said, it has re-strengthened to a 115-mile-per-hour hurricane. This is a Cat 3 hurricane again, so a major hurricane. And you see this little blip right at the end of your screen. That's basically the city of Cancun there. So this is coming right at the Yucatan Peninsula here. Cancun's going to have some effects. It's going to come across here, moving a little bit more west right now, as the latest couple frames here, but general west northwest track is still continuing, and like I said, it'll only be over land for maybe 12 hours before it reemerges over the Gulf of Mexico. I have major concerns. This is going to come into parts of southern or parts of Texas maybe as a major hurricane, so we need to prepare for that. Prepare for the worst, hope for the best here. But this thing is defying all odds, and I can't reiterate that enough. All right. Okay, let's go into models real quick. I know everybody, it's been a long day for everybody. So let me go into models real quick and I'll let you guys go. But like I said, we're going to have continuous updates on our Facebook page, and we will be live nightly until this thing makes landfall. All right. So stay with us as well. We'll have all the latest. All right. So let's take a look at the recent models, even though they've been not so great. All right. Here is all the latest hurricane model 00Z. This is brand new. Just came out. So this little blip right here, where my hand's at, kind of where my mouth or hand is, that's where the center of the circulation is as of these models initialized. As you can see, it's already north of these tracks, so that's concerning. So, like I said, I think Texas, like I've said for 3 or 4 days now, Texas is on the table. It's been on the table for a while. This the way this thing's been acting. Okay, so it's going to come across the Yucatan Peninsula, start tracking more northwest than west, and then maybe start trekking a little bit more north than northwest, northwest, and then I believe it's going to make landfall in Texas. At this point, it's going to make landfall somewhere in Texas. Most models now have a consensus at South Texas, but southeastern Texas is still going to be in play. Reminder: this is the center of the storm. There's going to be far-reaching effects, even over towards southwest Louisiana, with water rises, possibly some tropical storm force gusts, etc. So we're going to have to stay on top of this. Some tracks have this going into Texas. Southern Texas is stalling it. That would be very bad news. Major flooding could be possible. There are also going to be tornadoes with this thing, with all this circulation that's happening, especially on the right front quadrant that comes in. There's going to be tornadoes with this. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. There's always lots of tornadoes with hurricanes, okay? And there's going to be dangerous winds, dangerous wind gusts, flooding. And then some of these tracks take it over through Arkansas and up the Ohio River Valley. So there'll be tons of rain up that way if this happens this way. But so Texas Gulf Coast need to be on high alert. Southwestern Louisiana need to be on high alert as well. Like I said, this is going to have far-reaching effects on where the center of these tracks are going. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at a few others. I'm going to show you the WRF model as well. All right. Here's the latest 18Z GFS. I do like a little bit north of this black box, basically, and these controlled as the circles here. So I think, like I said, it's going to take a little bit more northerly track than the center here of this mean. So, like I said, Texas Gulf Coast, I think you're going to have a hurricane to deal with as we get into Sunday night into Monday. And then the mean track on this model here has it going through, parts of Texas and through Arkansas, which would mean lots of rain, some very windy conditions as well. So we got to keep up, see what's going to go on. Looks like a lot of these models are starting to catch on that the trough is going to come down and pick this thing up. And then as we get through early next week and behind this system, it's going to cool down. We're going to have a nice little cool down behind it, but damage is going to be done by then. But this, like I said, this storm is defying all odds, and I do believe this could be a major hurricane coming in to Texas. All right, so I think this is going to be a major concern. You need to, like I said, the preparations need to start. Probably you need to start thinking about it because National Hurricane Center is probably going to start throwing watches up starting tomorrow or tomorrow night for Sunday night into Monday for landfall. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at one more model here. All right. This is the 18Z Wharf model. The new 00Z is not out yet. But this is showing this would be at 10 o'clock. This is when the hurricane, that advisory came out, and the advisory said 115-mile-per-hour hurricane, and this is saying max winds is 112. So it's pretty good, pretty decent. Still not up to speed here, but this is the better model as of late over the last few days. Now, this is thinking that as it gets closer to shore, it's going to weaken some and still come on shore as about a 100-mile-per-hour hurricane. I still think this is going to come on shore or make landfall as a major hurricane, 150-mile-per-hour hurricane. Now, this is thinking it's only going to be over land for about 10 hours or so before it comes off the coast here. And it's thinking it's going to come off the coast as a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm. And then it should rev right back up pretty quickly. And then by 7 a.m. Saturday, it's already back to a hurricane. Like I said, I do have my doubts that it weakens all the way to a tropical storm before it reemerges over the Gulf. So stay tuned for sure. All right. So basically, this thing is back into a hurricane status before it hits Texas here. Look at it. It's like basically skirting the coast here. This has a 95-mile-per-hour hurricane coming in to parts of southeastern Texas here. So this has been a pretty decent model as of late. Here's the pressures. Let's go all the way back here. So it's thinking it's right now like 960, saying it's 963. Then come on shore with a 9. I don't know why I keep doing that. 968. And then weaken. Then it comes off as a 999 low. And then strengthens I think it's going to strengthen a little bit more rapidly than what this is saying. And as it gets to the coast, it's down to a 969 as it starts making landfall. So this is going to be a dangerous situation for parts of Texas. Like I said, I think watches go up tomorrow or tomorrow evening as we go forward here. But this is going to be a dangerous situation in through parts of Texas, and this is going to have some reaching effects even over towards parts of southeastern Texas along the coast, even into parts, maybe even southwestern Louisiana, with some water rises, probably some storm surge because of this, the way this hurricane could be coming in to the coast. All right, let's take a look. I'm going to take a look at one more thing here. All right, what you see on your screen is the ATCF guidance, which is all the hurricane models thrown together. So we're thinking, like I said, it's gonna be making landfall tonight in through tomorrow. It's thinking it's going. Some of these models think it's going to go into tropical storm. This is where this tropical storm status is right through here, and then Cat 1 is where this green between the green and the blue. Cat 2 is blue to yellow. Cat 3 is yellow to this reddish here, and then Cat 4 is above that. So there is one model thinking it's going to intensify to possibly a Cat 4 again that comes into the Gulf. I think that still needs to be on the table. That's just the way that this thing's been acting. I would not be surprised. Okay, but a lot of these are sticking with basically a Cat 2 to a Cat 3 maybe at the most. But I do believe that this has a chance to become a major hurricane again in the Gulf. and make landfall out into Texas, possibly as a major hurricane. So that's the latest right now. You need to be thinking about preparations because watches will be going up probably tomorrow or tomorrow evening. Need to start thinking about making preparations, especially if you're along the coast in Texas. All right. So that is the latest that we have. Please make sure you're listening to local authorities as well. They are seasoned; they know what to do, especially if you're along the Gulf Coast. If they tell you to evacuate, you need to get out. All right, because they you don't want to be left behind, especially if there's water rises, coastal flooding, the storm surge, stuff like that. If they tell you to leave, you need to leave, okay, and evacuate. I'm just going to say that now if this happens. Okay, so think about the preparations. If you go under a watch tomorrow, you have most of the weekend to start making preparations and get your house in order. And like I said, listen to your local officials. They will know what to do, and just listen to your local networks as well, as regards to evacuations, mandatory evacuations, stuff like that. All right. Okay, there's a lot going on. Hopefully, everyone had a good Fourth. I wish I had better news for parts of Texas here, but looks more and more likely this is going to be landfalling into the Gulf Coast of Texas as we go into Sunday night into Monday. As a there's a possibility of this thing regrain straight into a major hurricane that comes into Texas. Have a good evening, everyone. We will talk tomorrow night. We'll have more updates on Facebook throughout the day tomorrow, and then we'll be live again, both on Facebook and YouTube on tomorrow night, going forward every night until this thing makes landfall. Have a great evening.